Here's a simple, but I think you'll find really powerful tool to help you become a more effective speaker and writer, something I've used for years. Now, go with me on this journey. It's going to take us back to my previous career as a linguist. Now, in linguistics, a phoneme is the single smallest unit of sound that actually can have bearing on meaning. So in the word bit, as in I bit into an apple, that word bit is made up of three phonemes, b, I, and t, bit. Now, why does that matter? Because there's this really neat test in linguistics called minimal pairs, and it in fact is a test for whether or not a sound is actually a phoneme, whether that sound can bear meaning in that language. So if we take two words, in this case bit and maybe pit, P-I-T, and put them together, what we have there is a pair of words that is minimally variable. That is, there's only one difference in sound. That's the first sound, b and p. So bit versus pit. Now, what we would do is we would ask native speakers, do the words bit and pit mean the same thing or different things? And the reason why that matters is because that first sound, b and p, are actually created in the exact same place. They're what are called bilabial stops. That is, you use both lips and you stop the air. One happens to be voiced, b, where your vocal cords are vibrating, and one is voiceless, p, where your vocal cords are not. And so the fact that for an English speaker, we know that bit and pit are two different words meaning two different things, that tells us that in fact b and p, that is voiced and voiceless bilabial stops, are two different phonemes, and therefore voicing actually has bearing on meaning in that language. Wow, more than you ever cared to know. So why does any of this matter in the world of speaking? Well, I've used essentially the same principle to help me write and craft sentences and ideas and concepts in the Challenger work and all of the writing, the literally millions of words that I've written over the years on behalf of all the research teams that I've had the pleasure and privilege of working with. And the reason why this minimal pairs idea works so well, and the reason why it works in linguistics, and I think it works in writing, is because what it really is a focusing tool. By taking two things, two ideas, two concepts in the writing world, two phrases, and putting them side by side and making them completely identical to one another, as identical as practically possible, and then changing one and only one thing, what that does is it's a focusing tool. It focuses all of the attention on the one thing that is different. So in the world particularly of insight and Challenger and challenging conventional wisdom, the world in which I live and breathe, when I'm trying to contrast one idea to another idea, what I'll do is I'll find language that captures both of those ideas where there's only one word that is different between the two. And what that word does is that difference is it focuses not just attention on that word, but it focuses attention on the concept that is captured in the word and the difference between those two things. So here's a couple examples for those of you at least who read the Challenger sale will know well. So things like don't lead with your solution or your product, lead to it. Don't lead with, lead to. Or it's not what you sell, but how you sell that matters most. Or you've got to break down the A in order to build up the B. That last one's got a little extra twist on it, but nonetheless, you get the idea is that when you build these phrases, the first thing you want to do is build contrast. Build a minimal pair where two things are contrasted side by side and are virtually identical, and then find that one place where they're not and where that difference is meaningful and focus all the attention on that one place. That's minimal pairs, and that can make your writing really effective.